Welcome to Art Chronica. Today, we're unraveling the secrets of one of the most iconic masterpieces of the Renaissance, the School of Athens by Raphael. This fresco is not just a painting. It's a visual manifesto of human intellect and creativity, a celebration of knowledge that transcends time. But why did Raphael create this masterpiece? What was his true purpose? To answer that, we need to step back into the early 16th century, an era of artistic revolution, intellectual awakening, and deep admiration for the wisdom of the ancient world. Raphael was commissioned to paint this fresco by Pope Julius II, one of the most ambitious and art-loving popes in history. The fresco was meant to decorate the Stanza della Segnatura, the private study and library of the Pope in the Vatican. But this wasn't just any library. This was a space meant to embody the very essence of human knowledge, a place where theology, poetry, law, and philosophy converged. Raphael's task was to translate these abstract concepts into visual form. The School of Athens represents philosophy, the pursuit of truth through reason and debate. In an age where the Renaissance was reviving the knowledge of ancient Greece and Rome, this painting was a perfect tribute to the intellectual giants of history. Raphael didn't just depict them. He brought them to life, placing them in an architectural space so grand and timeless that it mirrors the eternal nature of their ideas. But this painting is more than a historical tribute. It's a statement, a bold assertion that human reason, critical thinking, and dialogue are just as sacred as faith. It reflects the Renaissance ideal that philosophy and science are not enemies of religion, but rather essential to the full understanding of the world. So, what makes this painting so legendary? How did Raphael manage to encapsulate the essence of philosophy, science, and artistic brilliance all in one composition? Stay with me as we embark on a journey through history, symbolism, and artistic mastery to uncover the hidden layers of this breathtaking fresco. Before diving into the painting, let's set the stage. The Renaissance was a period of rebirth, a cultural awakening that revived classical Greek and Roman ideals. The movement emphasized humanism, scientific exploration, and artistic innovation. It was an era where thinkers and artists sought to bridge the past with the present, merging classical knowledge with new discoveries. The Vatican, under the rule of Pope Julius II, became a hub of intellectual and artistic activity. The Pope, a great patron of the arts, commissioned Raphael to decorate the Stanza della Segnatura, his private library. Here, Raphael was given a monumental task to visually represent the four greatest disciplines of human knowledge: theology, philosophy, poetry, and justice. The School of Athens, of course, represents philosophy. Let's now take a closer look at the painting itself. The School of Athens is a vast fresco, measuring approximately 16 feet by 25 feet, covering an entire wall of the Stanza della Segnatura in the Vatican. It's an artistic masterpiece that seamlessly blends philosophy, architecture, and perspective into a single breathtaking composition. At first glance, you might be struck by the grandeur of the setting. Raphael places his philosophers within an architectural space inspired by classical Roman and Greek buildings, featuring massive coffered barrel vaults, Corinthian columns, and expansive archways. The vastness of the space, emphasized by the perfect use of one-point perspective, draws our eyes to the central figures of Plato and Aristotle, the two titans of Western philosophy. One of Raphael's greatest achievements in this fresco is his mastery of linear perspective. He carefully arranged the painting so that the vanishing point lies precisely between Plato and Aristotle, reinforcing their central role in the world of philosophy. Every architectural element and every figure appears to be positioned in perfect harmony, leading our eyes toward these two towering thinkers. The composition follows a pyramidal structure, a technique commonly used in Renaissance painting to create a sense of balance. If you look at the arrangement of the figures, you'll notice that each group is naturally interacting, forming smaller, dynamic compositions that contribute to the overall theme of intellectual dialogue. Another brilliant technique Raphael employs is the use of light and color. The fresco is bathed in a warm, natural light that appears to stream in from an unseen source, highlighting different groups of figures and adding depth to the scene. The color palette is dominated by earthy tones, blues, reds, and golds, lending a sense of richness and movement to the work. But beyond the architectural beauty and technical mastery, the real magic of the School of Athens lies in its characters. Over 50 philosophers, mathematicians, and scientists from different periods of history, all gathered in one space, engaging in the timeless pursuit of knowledge. Let's now go deeper into the key figures featured in the painting. While Plato and Aristotle are the focal points, Raphael populates the fresco with some of the most influential thinkers from antiquity, each captured in a moment of deep discussion, contemplation, or discovery. At the center of the composition, Plato and Aristotle walk side by side, engaged in a philosophical dialogue. They are depicted as teacher and student, yet their opposing worldviews are subtly conveyed through their gestures. Plato, identified by his long white beard and red and purple robe, holds his book Timaeus and gestures toward the sky, symbolizing his theory of ideal forms, the belief that true reality exists beyond the physical world. Aristotle, dressed in earthy blue and brown tones, carries his ethics and extends his hand horizontally, emphasizing his belief in empirical observation and the physical world. These contrasting gestures visually communicate one of the greatest philosophical debates in history: whether truth exists in a perfect, intangible realm or in the observable, material world. To the left of Plato, we see Socrates, easily recognizable by his sharp facial features and green robe. He is deeply engaged in conversation, using his signature hand gestures to make a point. Raphael masterfully captures his method of questioning, which we now call the Socratic method, a technique of debate through relentless questioning. He is surrounded by young men who appear to be either agreeing with or challenging his ideas. These figures represent his most famous students, possibly including Alcibiades, the Athenian general, and Xenophon, the historian. Moving to the foreground, we see a bearded man dressed in white, seated and writing in a book while surrounded by eager listeners. This is Pythagoras, the Greek mathematician and philosopher known for his work in geometry and music theory. In front of him, we see a tablet with mathematical diagrams, possibly illustrating the Pythagorean theorem. He is accompanied by students, symbolizing the way his ideas shaped future generations of thinkers. Raphael's choice to include Pythagoras highlights the Renaissance fascination with mathematics and the harmony of the universe, a principle that was deeply intertwined with both art and philosophy. One of the most striking figures in the painting is Diogenes, the founder of Cynicism. Unlike the other philosophers who are engaged in discussions, he lounges casually on the steps, completely indifferent to the grand intellectual debate happening around him. His relaxed posture and minimal clothing symbolize his rejection of material wealth and social conventions. Diogenes was famous for living in a barrel and mocking the values of society, and Raphael's depiction perfectly captures his disdain for status and formal philosophy. On the right side of the fresco, a man in a red robe is kneeling, drawing geometric shapes with a compass on a tablet. This is Euclid, the ancient Greek mathematician who laid the foundations for geometry. Some historians believe Raphael modeled Euclid after Donato Bramante, the architect who designed St. Peter's Basilica, as a tribute to his architectural brilliance. He is surrounded by young students, symbolizing the importance of passing down knowledge through education. On the far right, we see two figures engaged in a discussion, holding spheres. Ptolemy, the great Greco-Roman astronomer, holds a terrestrial globe, symbolizing his contributions to geography and the understanding of Earth's place in the cosmos. Zoroaster, the Persian religious leader and philosopher, holds a celestial sphere, representing his mystical and astronomical insights. Between them stands a man in a black hat. This is Raphael himself, subtly inserting a self-portrait into the painting. As we've explored in detail, the School of Athens is more than just a beautiful fresco. It's a profound statement on the continuity of knowledge. By bringing together philosophers, scientists, and mathematicians across time, Raphael celebrates the intellectual traditions that shaped Western civilization. With his perfect composition, masterful perspective, and deep symbolism, Raphael invites us into an imaginary symposium where the greatest minds in history are still engaged in endless debate, a conversation that continues even today. Why does this painting continue to captivate us today? Well, for one, it perfectly embodies the spirit of the Renaissance. The fusion of art, philosophy, and science that we see in this fresco isn't just for aesthetic appeal. It reflects the very ideals of the era. The Renaissance was a time of rediscovery, a time when thinkers looked back at the wisdom of the ancient world and brought it forward into a new age of exploration and innovation. Raphael captures that intellectual rebirth in a single, breathtaking scene. But it's not just about history. The School of Athens continues to inspire us today. Scholars, artists, and philosophers still reference this masterpiece when discussing education, knowledge, and the pursuit of human progress. The way Raphael brings together different schools of thought, Plato's idealism, Aristotle's empiricism, Pythagoras' mathematics, and Socrates' questioning, reminds us that learning is never one-dimensional. It's about debate, exploration, and the endless pursuit of understanding. And perhaps most importantly, this fresco represents a timeless conversation. The questions raised by the philosophers in this painting are just as relevant now as they were centuries ago. What is truth? What is reality? How do we attain knowledge? These are the same questions we ask in modern philosophy and science in our daily lives. Standing in front of this fresco in the Vatican, you can almost feel the weight of centuries of thought and debate echoing through time. It's as if Raphael has frozen a moment where history's greatest minds are still in discussion, inviting us to step in and become part of that eternal dialogue. So, what do you think? Does the School of Athens capture the essence of philosophy? If you could add one more figure to the painting, who would it be? Let me know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more art history explorations. Thanks for watching, and until next time, keep questioning, keep exploring, and keep appreciating the beauty of knowledge.
Thanks for watching.